or funny, which was for people that had never done stand-up comedy before. So I just thought, right, give it a go. So I did my first gig in the Cheeky Monkey Club in Birmingham. And obviously it was 7 minutes. And I mean, you're just pacing up and down thinking, oh my God, what am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I going to say to these people? But I'd worked out ideas and stuff that I was going to say. And I had a really nice gig. It was lovely. They were really supportive, particularly for people that had never done stand-up before, because it's a big thing to get up there anyway. I mean, I didn't get through in the competition. I never expected to. But when I was leaving, a guy came up to me, another guy that was in the competition, and he said, I really enjoyed your set. How long have you been going for? I said, oh, that was my first gig tonight. And he said, fair play. He said, I thought that was really good. I run a gig in Kidderminster. He said, they're a lovely crowd. And just sort of, just come and do what you did tonight. They're a really, really nice crowd. So within a couple of weeks, I was sort of driving up to Kidderminster and did the same sort of 7-minute set.
One guy was trying to explain to me once about a movie that was being filmed on a Greek island. It was a movie based on a book, and starring in the movie was the American actor Nicolas Cage. And what did he tell me the name of the movie was? Actually, can anybody tell me the name of the book or the movie that I'm talking about? Captain Corelli's Mandolin. That's right, yeah, thank you. He told me it was called Captain Nemo's Concertina.
And it was a corporate do for all the factory workers from the local bog roll making factory. And I got there at 8 o'clock. There were 3 comedians on. Me, a guy called Kevin Bridges, and a headline actor called Vladimir McTavish. It was all Scottish lineup, apart from me. I don't know why that happened. And I was on first as well, and it's always the hardest spot to do, going on first. Because invariably they're there sort of thinking, right then, make me laugh. Which I suppose is part of your job description, but it's just hard sometimes. And what people say when you go on first, you have to take one for the boys sometimes and just go out. So they can be quite tough gigs. But there was about 300 people in this art centre. And I got there at 8 o'clock and they were leathered already, absolutely bladdered. And I just walked on stage. I said, good evening everybody, my name's Jonathan Hope, I'm 35, and you're a f***ing bald from this group of people on the front row. And they just did that for 15 minutes, called me a bald 15 minutes. You rubbish, get off! So I was very much rabbit in the headlights sort of thing, really, thinking, oh my God, just get me through this. So I carried on regardless, but it seemed to be from a group of people on this side, so I'd sort of slightly angled myself, and this side of the room seemed to be laughing, so that was okay. But it was really, really tough. But I stayed and did me 15 minutes, because I thought, well, if I walk off, I might not get paid, really.
His wife starts explaining to me that apparently she'd read in the newspapers that years ago they planned on freezing Hitler's eggs so in the future they could make clowns out of him. I think you mean clones, love. You can imagine that when he comes back, can't you? Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
True stories that have happened to me, true stories that have happened to other people, and you can embellish true stories as well, slightly a few things, but that's where a lot of the ideas come from. But the news can be a good source of getting comedy as well, and the newspapers as well, their coverage of stuff, really, that can be a great source of inspiration. And funny stories that you see in the news and how news articles are worded and that, and that can be a great source of material. It was great. It was something a couple of weeks ago on the Saturday newspapers. The Guardian had gone with the headline, something about more troops to be sent to Afghanistan. The Daily Mail had gone with something about a transplant operation that had gone very well. The Daily Express had gone with something about Shameless. 60% of council tenants don't pay rent. And then The Sun, where their headline was George Michael shunts trucker in rear. So I mean, it's just great how bless the Sun as they are, but they can come out with real sort of short, sharp, funny headlines, An
anagram of Alistair Darling is raids till again. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, they just write themselves. Although, I must admit, I did try and work out Joseph Fritzl, and the only thing I could get out of Joseph Fritzl was frosty elf jizz.
People like Dave Allen, great storyteller, Bill Hicks, Richard Pryor, again Peter Kay, Bill Bailey, people like that, just sort of watching and thinking, wow, brilliant really. I mean, the League of Gentlemen, I think, are brilliant writers, absolutely fantastic, as are people who do Peep Show. What I like about League of Gentlemen is the darkness of it all, really, and you get comedy from that. But yeah, they're the main, particularly as I said, the storytellers like Dave Allen, Bill Hicks, for what he talked about of the time. You get the guys that make it onto TV with your Peter Kay and Dar O'Brien, I think is brilliant. Frankie Boyle, brilliant. I mean, close. I mean, his subject matter sometimes you think, my God, but brilliant. And he sort of questions what's going on in the world and stuff, as Bill Hicks did, really. But there's people that you see on the circuit who don't necessarily make it onto television, and there's people I've seen on the circuit like a Welsh comedian called Noel James, who brilliant, proper makes you cry laughing, and you think absolutely brilliant. Gary Delaney, again, very, very good. A guy called Andy White. Sarah Millican, I think, is brilliant.
I'm sorry, sir, I seem to have left my mosquito net, the size of the island of Gran Canaria, back in my apartment.
No, I think it's an art form. It's a creative process, and doing stand-up, you learn about honing material, and it's all about rhythm and pace. But it's a craft. It really is a craft. As to there is gag telling, there is gag writing, and that's an art in itself. But it is questioning what's going on in the world and speaking out where other people don't. Give it a go, definitely. Like I said before, if there's ever a time where you feel alive, is when you get and stand up behind that microphone, because it can be the best place in the world, and it also can be the loneliest place in the world as well, because it's just you with a mic, standing on a mic, and away you go, really. But I would say to anybody thinking about it, give it a go, and also keep on doing it as well. Don't be, if you have a couple of gigs that don't go so well, think I'm not doing it anymore. Keep on at it, keep on gigging. Watch as much comedy as you can. Go and watch lots of live comedy, and watch how the professionals do it as well. Do lots of open mic spots. Do open spots where you can get in at a club and do a 10-minute spot, a 5-minute spot, 10-minute spot. But go and watch pro acts as well. And there's lots of comedy clubs in and around Manchester, all around the cities that you can get in. Watch pro acts perform. Watch lots of comedy on TV, and a range of comedy as well. And also be original. Definitely don't steal other people's material, and be original, and be your own style as well. Don't try and copy anybody else's style. Be individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jonathan Hope. Thank you very much, Saddleworth.